Helo agus fáilte bhlá ormh go trí seascad. In programme ag BBC Alba hadal go cré scílach in Bhorainich and in Sil Spórs na Alba. Is me Iona Ballantyne is ha mi toileteir ra go Emma Black ar as callrooms in studio sé ha go maiolach balcoshin an ban an Alba. Our programme na heiche noch bí mi hín is Emma coit a roistrí deireadh sheachdain Lumalan Leis an SWPL a hyn a tilleadh. Has sin brownry cluicheadair Forfar Farmington, Donna Paterson ha gamas barach còmhla a chuúir son a chorgan season. Agus Cluinnidh fo club Bhorainich Galaibh an an League na Gaeltachts na Ellen siad ar a bhín an taf cór is bliana. Emma, welcome back to 360.
Hi, thanks for having me back.
It's feeling like such a long time since the last time you were here.
It does, it feels such a long time as you say. It feels like we're almost going into a new season, even though it's the same season.
Still got 14 fixtures to go, but like we've just seen, the return of the season is happening in a few days. Well, SWPL 1, how are you feeling about it?
I'm excited. It's been a long time coming. I felt, as I spoke about on the previous show, it was the right time to suspend the league. Obviously, the positive cases were rising, the deaths were rising due to COVID, so it was the right decision at that time during the winter months, and now I'm super excited, and I just hope it's competitive the way it finished up.
And hopefully we're through all the bad weather.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Yeah. I mean, it has been such a long time for these teams and these players and management and everyone involved in football. Quite a tricky way to navigate the past couple of months. How do you think they'll be feeling ahead of Sunday?
I think there'll be mixed emotions. I think there'll be a lot of positivity, you know, having some kind of normality back to their lives, you know. For these girls, like, football is their life, you know. For ones that are part-time, training 3-4 nights a week, playing on a Sunday, their football revolves around their life. And then you've got the ones that are full-time contract, you know, that's their livelihood, that's their paid income. And then you might have ones who are maybe have taken a step back and think, do I really want to continue playing football because I've had such a long time off and it's been disturbed obviously with the breaks and the suspensions. They can maybe thinking, do I really want to do this? So I can think it could be in both camps.
Do you think we'll see any of that happening soon over the next couple of months?
I think we might, especially we're looking to play the 14 games in a short period of time, so it'll be intense, it'll be competitive. And squad rotation, I think, will be vital. You know, there'll be games Wednesday, Sunday, so that could have a big impact as well for girls who are working also during the day and at weekends.
And a lot of girls as well, they won't be used to playing so many games in such a short space of time. I think like Glasgow City, for example, they were used to that with Champions League, but for some of the other clubs, it's going to be very intense. Yeah,
I think so. I think some clubs might struggle, some players might struggle with that. Just the whole demand on you of a player, of expecting to perform at the highest level on midweek games and then also on a Sunday. And then it's having the vital times to rest and recover. There might not be enough time, enough hours in the day for players to do that if they're working and if they're at university or at college or even at school. So I think that will be a big demand on them.
Well, you know a lot of the teams, a lot of the players very well. Have you heard from them personally about how, like, the general feeling of the resumption is?
Yeah, well, they're really excited to get back and playing football, and you know a lot of girls have friends in football. Their group of friends are in their football team, so that will be obviously excite players, and then having the normality back to training. A lot might not be what it used to be in seasons gone by with the whole players have to be tested now, no car sharing, etc. So that could have a slight negative impact on the players travelling on their own, travelling maybe up to Forfar on their own, so I think that could affect them also.
Very different, and just not what things were like before, this whole different way of playing a match, training for a match.
Yeah, especially not having your friends and family, and also parents coming to watch and support you. And I think if you've had that, your family support and friends pushing you all the way through your career, and then all of a sudden, no, you're not allowed to come and watch me, that could also affect a player as well. But then on the spin, it could also help a player because they feel they don't have that pressure of performing in front of their family or parents and friends.
Absolutely. Well, before the break, things were very competitive. Do you think it'll keep going that way?
Yeah, I think so, especially when you look at the likes of Celtic and Glasgow City. They've certainly strengthened their squads. So yeah, I think it will be.
Brilliant, thank you, Emma. Well, we will be looking ahead to the upcoming weekend shortly. In Ishkachevi Sagiri Toshka Maristati, Donna Patterson ag Forfar Farmington. Sauneke han ar a smohaja helgan club, ag speak amas ar sin a còmhla dul ar san a club eiche a horsgu ir in a sarches in league.
Háisí cluicheadair Forfar Farmington Donna Paterson cluiche còmhla ag club Cluinnidh, mas do glúisí a gopar.
I started at called a little local team called St Martin's. That was kind of the school team. Kind of just started there, then went into a girls team because it was the boys I was playing with in primary. Got into a girls team. They started up when I was 9, so jumped across to the girls team and played with the Deireadh Ladies. And then played there till I was 15 actually, I think, and then moved to the Premier League with a team called Bucking Ladies. And then they actually got relegated, so I jumped again to Aberdeen. And then I moved down to Glasgow City for a wee spell, but it didn't really work out. So I then came back up the road to Forfar Farmington, and I've been there still, well, ever since.
Chluich Donna ag iad international de galapa for neich blindiac. Agus ha crutchin gro sin na bhuanachi, gus leisica gigianu na cluicheadair.
They were really good. I think they, like, the difference in like tempo through like an international game compared to like a club level is like really helped bring on my game. Like the difference of between playing at club and then getting the challenge at an international game, it gives you that experience. So no, I really think that the internationals games have helped me develop as well. I think it's made me more like physical because I'm obviously still quite young, and just getting involved with the ladies game a lot younger than some people do. I think that's made me mature as a player as well.
Like Glasgow City Union a shewn skipian eiche. Ha Donna iddi vi forstanach gyda chluichi còmhla agus gyda Iúnsaí bosar chluicheadair an international.
It was a really good experience. The training, the tempo itself was higher. Just training even with a few internationalists as well. Like you were always almost honoured really to have that girls alongside you playing. Just their experience alone, they just made you feel more comfortable. And always, like, obviously they're ex-international, or some of them are still internationalists. And you just felt at ease knowing that they're in your team, and you felt like you were actually in a good team, if that makes sense.
In Ishak Forfar Farmington, ha Donna it glúsad for cluicheadair giant go cluicheadair ag me in a parke. Agus ha ye gíise go bhfuil chlub hásta déalaigh dí mar a gach príomh chóte Ryan McConville a gríach.
Yeah, it's really good. Sadly, we've just lost Ryan as our manager due to circumstances with COVID and stuff. But yeah, Forfar's really good. I've actually been promoted from centre half into centre mid, so I'm getting a lot of new challenges as well with my own game, being in that different position. So I'm really enjoying it at the moment. Yeah, it was a shock. It's quite a big shock actually. We all really liked Ryan, and was liking his coaching style. We all felt that it was almost like a different team compared to what we were last season, just surviving relegation, and then coming in and winning almost more points than we have already compared to last season. We felt that it was a big change in the way we were playing. So it was quite gutting to see Ryan go.
But Hiúngadich, Hanak Nech van Realtas can be an SWPL hun a Chilech. As you mean Miasan and Tav, and a cluicheadair and a gin of fewer, they be a Chilech and a Farke.
Oh, I think it will be so happy to get back to the pitch. We're all kind of, like I said, like thinking it's dragging on a bit now. So I think we're all just buzzing to get back. And when we do get back, hopefully all the team's been putting in as much effort. So then we don't have so much of a pre-season and we can just get back into kicking the ball again. It's been difficult. Obviously, we've had quite a bad spell of winter weather. So you're kind of just restricted to maybe home workouts, or like, I'm lucky I've got like an exercise bike, but a lot of people don't have that kind of facilities to use at home. So with the bad weather, I was just kind of going on that, like getting the miles in that bike, and I work with a personal trainer as well. So I've got workouts from him to do to keep up with my strength, and little like Tabata kind of sessions I like. So it's been difficult with the motivation side of it as well. Like, you're just thinking of when will this kind of end. It's dragging on now, but no, I'm still working away, and hopefully when we do get back it won't be so hard on the legs.
Ha Donna máchtal as na ruúta na haiad collanach na dríachar seo. Is í an dáchas í héna fuchtach gus cluiche iad na sáirte ans na blianach an hí.
I think I've had quite a good career. I've obviously got in very young. I think playing with the boys is when I was younger progressed me quite a lot, as in like my strength and my ability as well. So and then obviously getting into the national youth squads, I think that's quite good. I got through the Scottish school ranks as well. So yeah, I think I've had a not bad career for a youth. My personal ambitions, obviously, for this season as a team to finish as high as possible. My personal ambitions would possibly see myself progress at a higher level as well. I'm always open to new challenges and working my way as best as I can. So I'm kind of an open book with my ambitions.
Emma, Donna was scoring some brilliant goals before the break, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. She was fantastic. You know, I think her time at Glasgow City has helped her a lot and developed her a lot as a player and a person. You know, training with, as you mentioned, the international players like Joe Love, Hayley Lauder, that's only going to make you a better player and realise if I want to be at the top level of my game, then I need to improve. And it looks like she's did that, and she's taken that then into Forfar, and she's played more minutes. She's went from centre back to midfield, and then she's one of the top goal scorers. But she started the season really, really well.
And she talks about that in terms of international players as well, how much she enjoyed playing alongside them and against them. She just learns so much from them, and you can tell she's really soaking it up with how she's playing now. Yeah,
you can actually see that also. She looks much fitter. She's sharper when we've obviously covered some games. She's been playing and she's getting about the pitch and going from a defending position then into midfield. You've got to be fitter, you've got to cover more area on the space, defending and attacking, and attacking, you can see that with the goal she scored.
And well, since switching position, she's firing them in.
Yeah, she has. She's been doing really well, and I think one game we covered, she scored an absolute screamer, didn't she? So no, you can see obviously what she's learned, as I said, at Glasgow City and previous clubs, and at playing at under 19 international level. She's then taken that forward into Forfar, and it's a shame that obviously Forfar has lost their manager. That'll have a negative impact because they were doing really well under Ryan. So players will be looking to Donna for experience, for leadership, to continue towards the end of the season.
Well, with Donna, I mean, that is the thing. If we're watching a match or we're seeing all the scores coming in, you're just expecting her now to be on the score sheet.
Yeah, you are.
She's scoring it almost every game.
Yeah, you are, and it's all been spectacular goals, hasn't it? It's not been tap-ins, as we say it. But no, it's been round the edge of the box. You know, she's got a powerful strike on her, and she'll be looking to add to her goal tally.
Well, to be top scorer at the moment with Kirsty Howitt, 8 goals, even for Forfar Farmington to be up there with the stats, that's a great. It looks great for the club, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. As I say, when Ryan came in, their new manager at that time, start of the season, he's put a lot of work into the team on and off the pitch, and you can see the rewards are there for them to see. You know, they've got much more points than what they almost finished on last season for a full season, and then Donna's stepped up to the plate and she's helped the squad out really well.
And hopefully she keeps it going, because it's so great to watch. And like you did mention with Ryan, it was a shock. I mean, for this squad, Kevin McGraskin, I'm sure he'll keep them going as they were, but we hope to see them continue on that good form, because it was so great to see.
Yeah, it was. And you know, they were challenging when they were playing against, Rangers and Celtic and City. You know, they were challenging for long spells of the match, and I do hope they continue that development. It's also good for women's football. You know, I heard obviously they were speaking previously that they don't want to be in that relegation battle season after season. They want to then progress and start climbing the table. So I hope they do continue that.
If we do see the likes of, say, Aberdeen, another team from up north, getting promoted, Do you think a club like Forfar would struggle to keep these kind of players, or do you think this is where the kind of north team, where the good players are going to go?
I think it's difficult to say that. I think Aberdeen have got such a young team coming through. I think they will gain promotion to come through to us. And I think when you're looking up north, I spoke about it previously, that you tend to find that one hidden gem from up north. You've got Rachel Corser, you've got Kim Little up north. So I think if you're looking to develop your game, then you've got to play in women's football. You've got to play as many minutes as possible in SWPL 1, and then you could then take that next step to one of the bigger teams.
Well, for Forfar on Sunday, they play Motherwell. Both teams picking up their season without the manager that they started with. How do you think that'll go? I
think that'll be a good challenge for both of them. I think Motherwell have been struggling since the start of the season. I know they've got a very young team. I know they're limited to what training they can and can't do. So that will be a tasty fixture also. I'm looking forward to that, because for me, I'm looking at it, Motherwell have to get points on the board, whereas Forfar, I think, are a little bit ahead of them just now. And you can see that obviously with the league table position just now.
And interesting to see where they're both at after so much time off.
Yeah, I think for teams that are near the bottom of the league, not Forfar so much, but you look at Motherwell and Hearts, there's no pressure on them, there's no relegation, so you could look at them saying, are they then preparing for next season already? The management team and the backroom staff, are they already looking at next season, because there's not so much pressure on them this season, so it'll be interesting.
And some great fixtures every weekend, but it is back. So next we've got Hearts versus Rangers, Hearts at home to Rangers, top versus bottom.
I think the Rangers are obviously the favourites for that. I think they'll be looking to pick up the 3 points quite comfortably. I think, no disrespect to Hearts, but obviously Hearts have just been promoted, so they're looking to find their feet. They've just had a new manager who didn't have any experience in women's football at all, so possibly this break, this suspension that we've been in, maybe he's went and did research into women's football, into SWPL 1, and then obviously looking to take that onto the training field for his players.
So it'll be great to see how they're shaping up, especially on Sunday. We've also got Spartans against Hibs. Well, how do you think that one will go?
I know they had played a friendly just recently, and it was very competitive, what I heard. So I think that will be an interesting challenge. I think for the Hibs team, I don't think they've been as strong as what previous seasons have. They used to have the likes of Jamie Lee Napier, who was a top player for them, Rachel McLaughlin, and these players have left. It's almost like they're bringing a new batch of young ones coming through. Still got some senior players there, but for Spartans, I feel, we spoke about it previously, they're always there competing all the time. They're such got a togetherness. They're like a family-run club, of course, although they're a community club. And I just feel like Debbie, she's been there such a long time, so she knows the league inside out, and they've got a lot of experienced and senior players, which I think will help them.
And a tough team to beat, Spartans. Yeah, they are. And then finally, we've got Celtic versus Glasgow City, the game you'll be covering on BBC Alba for us. That'll be a good one. Yeah, I think that'll be the one everyone will be looking at this weekend. You could say this is the third time this fixture's been played. The first time round, nil and void, where Kelly Clark has scored the winner, last-minute winner for Celtic, and then obviously Glasgow City then at the start of the season winning 2-0. So I think this will be a really tasty fixture. Both teams have strengthened. Both teams have brought in numerous players, international players for both. So I'm thinking that'll be extremely tasty fixture, and looking forward to it. Very competitive. Well, Glasgow City will be looking to turn around from that 5-0 defeat against Rangers, the last game we saw in December. Yeah, that was a shock result, I think, for everyone, the 5-0. And then obviously City have quietly, as I've said before, quietly go about their business. They've strengthened. I think they've brought in 6 players and some international players as well, and they've got the likes of Claire Shine coming back to full fitness back in the Ireland squad, so that's fantastic to see for her personally also, but I feel that'll add to Glasgow City as well, so I'm looking forward to it. Definitely. Well, a very exciting weekend finally awaits us. Yeah. Gyda hashing toliche gyfal príomh league ban na Alba tilleadh, ha machine chan has to have na league na síisiile. Gan skip a galaiv a ha cluiche an a league na geltach agus na Ellen a-mach an an choras bliana. Vrein sin a chuitgaibh when skip a bhar an ochnas acha tú an Alba agus mar a haid ar déalacha crísin bliana magéirich.
this club in particular, I think is it cliche to say, the sense of the team that we are. You know, there's the group chat. These people are genuinely my friends. They're not just my teammates. I'm Carly Eridge. I am a player. I'm also the team captain, and I'm also the vice chair as well.
It's like a family. We have such a great kind of social element with the club. Everyone gets on so well. It's kind of the highlight of the week, going to training, meeting everyone. My name's Katrina Findlay. I am player, club secretary. I also try and recruit young players for the club, as I'm a teacher in the local high school. So it's a good opportunity for me as well to kind of get some young talent, get them along to the club when they come of the right age. So
we're a very close group of women. We get on really well together, we have fun together, and we play football. So we have a very diverse range of people who've one common interest. I'm Fiona Angus, and I'm chairperson and manager. We've a lot of dual roles in the club.
Ha skipper bal cosje wadden die galf aan true jealous muchere club. Zou niet als een tafel se jeke horsige club doshog. Ach het gelijk het game bal cosje farpersig kerst. Good tafel se hoch jiek.
We decided we need more games, because I mean, you know, we were just playing, you know, friendlies against any of the lads teams that would have us. There was sort of, you know, one small tournament in Thingwall most years that we would play in. So that was really the only competitive football we were actually playing. So we took the decision, right, we're gonna take a step, we're gonna join a league, and obviously the closest one to us was the North Division 2 League.
We entered that league and we'd be travelling 6 hours to just get to a game, play our game, jump back on the bus, 6 hours back on a Sunday, up for work, up for school the next morning.
But I wouldn't change it for the world at all. You know, we were just absolutely buzzing to be getting regular football, because it was just something before that point we'd never had. So yeah, it was after we played our season in 2018 in that league that the Highlands and Islands League sort of came about. I think it was maybe that step sort of showed that, you know, the smaller clubs like ourselves, there was an appetite for it, and we were committed to, you know, travel to these games and you know, just play regular competitive football.
So for us now, having this Highlands and Islands League, the travelling's nothing compared to what we were doing. So, you know, if anything, we quite enjoy the wee trip away compared to what we did have to do just to get games, you know.
I think one of the things that helps us, because, and this comes down to funding, we have to do all our own funding, but what we've tried to do is make sure we have enough money so that we can all travel on a bus together. So that long bus journeys together, and sometimes the boat journeys when we go over to Orkney, which is probably our favourite trip, if we're honest. You just spend a lot of quality time together. On the way down to the game, it can be quite quiet. On the way back, it's never quiet.
Ha club a kielchug barach na jiedig game in de bal kosje. Ha farachug goiers nog gaun, gewillo maar faarste rutegen. Agus wat drug aan nu de rane COVID-19 gen keilige club kutje in a cluicheadair an achke. Agus een farachug sonrichtje sin. Ach, chaigen te vele.
We've missed each other, and I think it was telling, because once we got to the point we were allowed to start training together, we only had a limited number that could turn up to training. Every week we had to get to the point we developed a waiting list and almost a first come first served, because we couldn't fit everybody in, which was a shame. But everybody, I must admit, the first few weeks I was concerned, will we get people back in the habit, will they be keen to come back? But everybody came racing back and just keen to meet up and see each other, so that was really good.
So we have had a lot of young players come into the club, so getting the opportunity for them to actually show what they've got, you know, in game situations. Last year we came third in the Highlands and Islands League. It came down to goal difference, so very frustrating for us. But you know, we would like to see that improvement there. You know, try and top what we did last playing season.
Every year we've sort of you know, built up a bit more. So in 2018, that was just, we want to play more competitive football. So we did that. We played more competitive football. 2019, played the Highlands and Islands League, and we came third in that. So yeah, we were absolutely delighted with that in, you know, the first year of the Highlands and Islands League, only narrowly missing out on second. So I think obviously we missed out last year. So this year going forwards, you know, just keep building on that, you know, bettering ourselves, get more girls involved. You know, we're always looking to expand the team, whether that's players or, you know, anybody looking to get into coaching. Just expand, get better, and yeah, at some point, you know, hopefully win the league or win the cup.
Ha galw steitio an den League na Gaeltacht is Cluinnidh, agus haidid byrym y falcosio y bhíodáis. Inis ha manager Fiona Angus is on enima cos na àibhist, mar áte far an faiú corman is on earth a dhéanú sa game.
We've got some really good players in the team. Their ability at football is better than the Highlands and Islands League level. So if we can get some of the players to the point that they could play at the highest level possible for them. So it's not that we're a feeder club to people, but if actually we can get our training standards and levels of fitness right, some of the players coming through could go on and play at really quite a good level. Whereas at the moment, there's no opportunity for women players to go on and play at a higher level compared to all in what you can do for a junior male. They can get spotted up in Caithness and they can go and join in, whether it was with Ross County, with Inverness, Caledonian Thistle. That facility is not available for women players, and I would like to be in a position that if we can play at a high enough level, people see that there's good players with us, then there's going to be opportunities to grow for some of the players in the team.
Emma, it's so great to see everyone getting so involved. You could be a player, you could be a coach, you could be doing recruitment, and so many dual roles.
Yeah, there is, and fundraising, hasn't it? They mentioned that fundraising is a big part of how they're able to train and play and travel to games. That's vital for them, and I think the enthusiasm from the ladies there is just fantastic to see, isn't it? That they're looking to put themselves on the map, establish themselves as a football club, and then look to better and develop young girls and ladies to then come in and play at the highest level possible and then to move on.
It just shows how much it means to them. They just are so involved. Yeah,
absolutely. And you see they'd started out 2018 in the league, and then they played in 2019, and then not unfortunate, but obviously the pandemic began, and obviously they've then had to stop playing and training, and you've said that Fiona, the manager, has said that she's been speaking to the players a lot and that they're all still eager and so excited to resume training and playing games again, which is good, because if you've had such a long time off, then it could then have a negative impact, as we spoke about at the beginning of the show, of do I really want to go back to football? Do I want to give up my time for this? But she's just saying that our players are so excited to come back.
And it's just a great example of a team and a club and a sport that has used the pandemic for good reasons. They've kind of used this time, and now everyone is, like you say, so keen to get back.
Yeah.
It shows how much it means to them, to everyone involved.
Absolutely, and she says she's looking to get young players and young girls and promote the numbers playing women's football up north, and I think that's vital as well for the women's game to increase the numbers playing, because then that's only going to develop you as a player, and then progress on to the highest level that you possibly can.
Well, we saw that before with them. I mean, a lot of travelling involved, a 12-hour round trip sometimes. That is exhausting, regardless if you're playing or not, but you've got all that travel, and then you've got to play a game and then travel back. I mean, for them, that's tough, but they've got through it.
They've got through it, yeah, it certainly is. I think I can remember hearing a podcast about Hayley Lauder when she went out to play overseas, and it was like she was similar, like to go to one game, there was like a 6-hour bus journey and then having a boat and then another bus and then playing the game and then coming back again, and she was a pro then, but she was then able to rest. But these ladies are unfortunately going to school or university or college, so they're not quite getting that rest and recovery needed after playing a game of football.
But still doing it because they love it.
Yeah, they love it.
It's so nice to see. I mean, unfortunately for the Highlands and Islands League and so many other sports, everything is still suspended, which is, it's so difficult. I mean, we do have SWPL 1 coming back, we've got the Women's Six Nations returning, so Scotland will be back in action, we've got netball who've been back in action, but for the rest, it's still a really difficult time. Yeah,
of course it is, and it's vitally important to keep everyone involved in that sport in particular. There's a lot of hard work that's been undertaken with obviously the sports that have returned in terms of following the correct guidelines, protocols, testing involved, finance as well has a lot. So it's vitally important for the sports that are back to continue to do that. But it's difficult for the ones that aren't.
It is a tough time. I mean, if we just finally, before we finish up this week, look ahead to the SWPL 1, which, like we've spoken about throughout the show, is returning on Sunday. Can we get some score predictions from you, perhaps? And we start off with Celtic and Glasgow City.
I think that'll be a tough one, but I think Glasgow City will win that game.
Do you know by how many goals? You're quite good at predicting.
I think it'll be close. The past two games have been they've been tight, they've been competitive, as which we expect. The two of our professional teams, we expect them to be competitive. I think it'll be 2-1. 2-1
okay.
Glasgow City.
2-1 Glasgow City. What about Hearts Rangers?
As I said, Rangers will be the favourite. I think there'll be a lot of goals scored in that game.
Okay. Any prediction?
No.
And then if we move on, well, we'll come back to that. I'll come back. Right. See if you finally come up with a score. What about Forfar Farmington and Motherwell?
I think that'll be tough. I think it'll be tough for Motherwell. I think Forfar are going into that game as favourites. I think Forfar will win that. I think that will be 2-0. 2-0
to Forfar. Okay, and then finally Spartans versus Hibs.
I think Spartans will win that. I think it will be like the Glasgow City and Celtic game. I think it will be competitive. Yeah. I think Spartans will win that 3-1.
Okay, brilliant. We'll everyone get your score predictions on. And thank you so much for joining us this week, Emma. Hopefully we will see you again soon.
Thank you.
Wel, sy'n ers o'n program eile, yn ahyrus bu sgybr Hibernian Joel Murray colorrooms yn studio. Cynnig eich hysyn y tors hwcaf program yw'r hwyl y sheachdain, smar sy'n jancyn joch gyfelch par lental ar YouTube, agos cwtioch can program y geirig acyn ar BBC iPlayer. Mae had dat sy'n by'n dol an yn sales sports yn ban, bu sy'n y bryn begin yn sio ar 3 siasgyd. Mar sy'n live yn dras.